All right, as you may have heard, the movie Naked Gun 4, starring Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson, is about to come out. However, it's not written by the person that created the franchise. The person that wrote and directed Naked Gun 1, 2, and 3, or Naked Gun 2.5 and Naked Gun 33 and a third. And it's my understanding that the person that did that, the iconic, legendary Hollywood director David Zucker, who created the Naked Gun franchise, actually pitched Paramount Pictures about the whole idea a few years ago. But they did it without him. In an exclusive video interview, I should say, let me welcome the franchise owner, the director, the writer of the Naked Gun franchise, David Zucker. David, good to see you again.
Hi, good to see you, Rick. I have to point out, the one inaccuracy that you said was I'm not an owner. If I was an owner of the franchise, I'd still be doing it with my brother.
Franchise creator.
Yeah, I was a creator, but, in these things, 25, 30 years, I don't know when it was, in 1988, we sold every single right. We didn't sell it, we had to sign away every right to the IP to the studio. And so they own everything and they can do what they want.
You pitched Paramount Pictures on Naked Gun 4 a few years ago, did you not?
Right. This was back in 2017. And I pitched the idea. Well, not only did I pitch it, I wrote a script with Pat Proft and Mike McManus, my writers on the previous Naked Guns, and McManus worked on Hot Shots. And we wrote this script because we love the franchise. We're not in it for the money. We make money, if it gets made and it gets released, but we do it because we love the franchise. And so we wrote this script on spec. No one paid us. And so we brought it into Paramount, and they actually gave us notes. And we executed the notes even. And so we were making progress. Suddenly, months passed. Our phone calls weren't being returned. And then I read in the papers that Seth MacFarlane had taken over the franchise and brought in Liam Neeson and Pam Anderson. So, what can you do? It was a surprise to us, and that's the cliff notes on what happened.
Well, I got a ton of questions here, and first of all, let me just say this, David. Insiders tell me, anonymously, insiders who have read the Naked Gun 4 script tell me it's a horrible script. Have you heard anything about it?
I have read it, and because they wanted me to put my name on it.
Oh.
And they wanted to say, executive. They wanted me to give my blessing.
Yeah, right.
Because it would absolutely help if I. Yeah. And they offered me money, and then at the time that they did that, even though I hadn't been involved from the beginning, I thought, it could be that it's just not our style, but it may still be funny.
Yeah.
So in that case, maybe I could say, okay, I'll put my name on it, but not if I didn't like it, of course. So the director came to my house and we talked. Very nice kid, Akiva Schaffer, and he gave me the script and I read it, and I don't want to comment on it because they gave me the script. So what I told Akiva is that I can't put my name on this because I wasn't involved from the beginning. I wanted to. My manager called and my agent called Seth MacFarlane, tried to get a meeting. He wouldn't meet with me because he said let me get the script first. Write the script first. But that's too late because, the horses are out of the barn. So, anyways, I told them I couldn't, I wouldn't put my name on it. And I turned down the money but this director is very nice. He made a little bit of an attempt to say, couldn't I put my name on it? But I just politely said no. And then later that day, I got a call from Seth MacFarlane. And I had never talked to him, never met him. Years before, as I said, I tried to get a meeting with him. And it was a nice call. Seth really spent the whole call telling me how much he loved Naked Guns, the Naked Guns, Top Secret, Airplane, all my movies.
Yeah.
And he was very nice. And the thing is, these guys are well-meaning. They're well-meaning. I don't want to say Seth is a bad guy. He genuinely loves Naked Gun, but that doesn't mean he knows how to do it. It's like, this is very specific type of movie, and we have years and years of experience, and we developed rules. And Jerry and Jim and I wrote a book about it called "Surely You Can't Be Serious," the true story of Airplane. And in it we actually mention and list we evolved over decades of doing spoof, 15 rules. And in fact, I'm about to put out a course on the 15 rules. It's called Master Crash. And because I'm telling you, I was rejected. I applied. My manager applied to Masterclass to have me, teach a course in spoof, which I think I know about, and I was rejected for that. So I don't know what's going on. I think it's pure ageism. It may be political, but I don't want to hide behind that. I just think, because the people who are doing Naked Gun are genuine fans, and they mean well, but that doesn't mean they know how to do it.
All right, David, we're going to take a short, brief break right here. When we come back, I'm going to ask you if you're going to go see the movie. I'm going to ask you, you mentioned perhaps ageism, perhaps politics. We'll get into that in this next segment, is whether or not you feel where that's all about. Continue with the franchise creator of the Naked Gun franchise, David Zucker. David, let's get right into it. First of all, are you going to go see the new movie Naked Gun 4 when it comes out?
No, I absolutely, have no desire to see it. I always think of, back 45 years ago when they did Airplane 2. We didn't go see that because it's too, the truth is it's too painful.
I don't blame you at all.
To see somebody else, and why I don't go to see every movie. I don't, I only see the movies where 10 people tell me it's great. And, when we would do Q&A, Jerry and Jim and I, sometimes we get asked that question is, have you seen Airplane 2? And we said, no, we've never seen it. I mean, it's been 45 years. We've never seen it. And they asked us, well, why haven't you seen it? And Jim Abrams always said, well, if your daughter became a prostitute, would you go watch her work? And this is how it, and so, and when I've said, about Naked Gun 4, I mean, I've explained to you, this is painful to see it done this way, and especially because we had something, we had something good that we were going to do. It's too painful, and so, and if I saw it, it's like you can't unsee this stuff. It's like Two Girls, One Cup. If you've ever heard of that, you can't unsee it. So. That's an easy question to ask. I have no interest in seeing it.
I still can't stop laughing over the daughter prostitute story.
Yeah, that was the late great Jim Abrams.
David, Hollywood says they're open-minded, they're tolerant, but there's a reason why they have turned you down. You pitched them a few years ago on Naked Gun 4. They said no. Now they move forward with it. Is it politics? You and I are both friends of the late great. We're friends of the late great Andrew Breitbart. That would put us in the conservative category. You are in your 70s, as I understand. So you said maybe ageism. Either way, it's intolerance. What do you think it is?
Well, I don't know if it's politics. I can't peer into the studio boardrooms and see how far they are into this political stuff that they would actually turn down someone because of that. I did 4 movies for Bob Weinstein, and Bob is, I would describe him as to the left of Castro, and he knew my political leanings, and yet, to his credit, he didn't care. He wanted to make money. He's a good guy, and I will tell anybody that. And he's always been honest. And he wanted me to direct Scary Movie 5. I just, I didn't want to do it because I do 2 of something and it's done. I did 2 Naked Guns and I didn't direct the 3rd one. And so I don't think. I don't want to fall back on that it might be politics, but I do think it is complete stupid Hollywood ageism and stupid, we must cast a big star and we must copy what was done 30 years ago without experimenting with something new. And our script was not using our script to Naked Gun 4 was not going to, we weren't going to try to replace Leslie Nielsen. It was going to be the son of Leslie Nielsen, who was going to be a 30-year-old. And it was not even going to be a cop movie. It was going to be a spoof on Mission Impossible, Bourne, Identity, and Bond. So
it sounds funny already.
Yeah, completely. And the director, when he met with me, said, we want to do Naked Gun for a modern audience. We want to modernize it, and what can I say? There is no modernizing Naked Gun. When Naked Gun came out in '88, we used a Herman's Hermit song from 20 years before that. and there's just, it's really just the sense of humor and the execution. It's not a matter of, modernize it. And what they are doing in this Naked Gun is trying to replace Leslie Nielsen. And just on the face of it, you can't replace Leslie Nielsen.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
Part of the conceit of using Leslie Nielsen in Naked Gun back in '88 was that, it was cute. It was an old guy, and he had a girl. I mean, Leslie was already 62 at the time, and that was a fresh idea. Now, it's not a fresh idea. It's, it was done. So we want to do the same sense of humor, but do a new genre. Anyways, I think that this Naked Gun is a copy of what we did, 35 years ago.
Wow. David, you've done I appreciate you joining us on this, and you did a great job explaining things. Because, it's hard to explain what's going on behind the scenes and idiosyncrasies of an industry that people are not a part of, and you've done a tremendous job. I will tell you this, I am not going to see Naked Gun 4 after I've heard what you've just shared with us. It just isn't right. And Hollywood, they claim they're all tolerant and open-minded, but look what happened to you.
I think, it was just, it's one of those things where, there's nothing I could do about it. It's that's Hollywood, and good luck to everyone.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you joining us, David. I mean, I love the Naked Gun franchise.
Yeah. Well, actually, I did want to say that, Paramount, I've read the press releases, all the stuff that's come out in the last week because the
Yeah.
trailer was released.
Yeah.
Nobody mentions the real story behind it. And because Paramount isn't, I don't think they're hiding it, but they're not putting that out in the press release that I'm not involved. I think they would prefer people to go to the movie thinking, oh, this is just the people who made Nick.
I think you're 100
are making for, and it's just not the case.
100% right. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
That totally, yeah. They're going to just give the feeling and perception that the original content creators are involved when in fact they are not.
Yeah, our names are on it as creators of the original characters. So, and there's no way we could avoid that. That's part of the Writers Guild.
All right. All right, David, thank you for joining me, and
Sure.
I look forward to catching up again with you sometime in the future.
Okay, anytime. Thanks, Rick.
You got it. Back with more after this.